that, hell yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Regina, and I'm here to introduce our magician. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming to the Ollie presentation of Mind Over Matter. It is magic and humor and inspiration all wrapped up into one wonderful package. Our program is designed for people who are 50 years old or older. And with that in mind, regardless of your religious or non-religious beliefs, we like to start with a humorous kind of prayer. A prayer called For Those Growing Older. Dear Lord, thou knowest that I am growing older. Please keep me from becoming talkative and possessed with the idea that I must straighten out everybody else's business. Keep me from the recital of endless detail and give me wings to just get to the point. Seal my lips when I am inclined to talk of my aches and pains. They are increasing with the years, and my love to speak of them grows sweeter as time goes by. Teach me the glorious lesson that occasionally I could be wrong. Make me thoughtful, but not nosy. Helpful, but not bossy. With my vast store of wisdom, it does seem a pity not to use it all. But thou knowest, Lord, I do want a few friends at the end. Thank you. So we're here to have fun and to see some magic. David Copperfield was invited, but he could not come today. And so in his place, we have the second greatest magician. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He is a single father of 2 beautiful daughters, and he is the proud grandpa of 1 3-year-old grandson. He has attended the University of Wisconsin, University of Kentucky, Northern Kentucky University, Ohio College of Applied Science, and he has a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Management. For 35 years, he was a corporate manager in the telecommunications industry. He is producer of the award-winning cable TV show, some of you may have seen some of the reruns, and it's called Entertainers in the Tri-State. He is also the producer of the theatrical production called Stars of Magic. He is a motivational speaker, an MC, author of several books, real estate investor, ballroom dancer, entertainer, and, of course, magician. Most importantly, he is my significant other. So I welcome you. I thank you for coming. Here is the second greatest magician, Paul Ketterer.
Thank you, Jim. My name is Paul Ketterer, but many know me as the second greatest magician. And some of you have already asked, some of you were wondering why the second greatest? The reason is quite simple. You see, there are thousands upon thousands of greatest magicians, but there's only one second greatest. However, maybe I should bill myself as the third greatest. Second to all of those thousands upon thousands of magicians who think they are the greatest. But they indeed, truly indeed, are second to the one and true magician. And you know where I'm going with this. And that magician is God. Whichever God you choose to believe in. For your God's magic is real. Your God's magic transcends the magic of man. But the magic you will see today is nothing more than the quickness of the hands or an illusion. So watch and listen as we enter the world of illusion. And in the world of illusion, we're never quite sure what is real and what is not. For example, ESP, mental telepathy, thought transference, or even a prediction.
Oh, I feel so much better.
Good! That's why. You know, when I was a kid, I swear my mom had ESP. She did. I couldn't do anything wrong without getting caught. I know she had eyes in the back of her head. And then she would give me the look. know the look that moms give you to let you know you're in trouble, to let you know you've been caught, to let you know you're going to be dealt with later. Well, now it's my turn.
Botox took that away, though.
Now it's my turn to catch two of you. Two of you to be my helpers. Two of you to be my assistants. Two of you to be my cheerleaders. Okay? And David and Craig. When I do something right, or if I do something you like, and anybody else that happens to have any clappers, those of you who have a clapper, what are you going to do? Yeah. And when they wave their clappers, what are the rest of you going to do? Nice and loud. Yeah. This is interactive. All right. Well, today, we're going to begin our program with not one, not two, but three predictions. Three predictions using these three envelopes, red, white, and blue. Red, white, of course, the colors of the American flag. And I am so very, 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 did I say very? Very thankful to be an American. I am. I don't have to look too far to see how great we have it here in the U.S. Yes, problems, but still a great country. And I'm thankful. You know Oprah? Of course you know Oprah Winfrey. Everybody knows Oprah Winfrey. Oprah encourages us to be thankful. She says, be thankful for the things that you have, and you will wind up with even more. And Oprah goes on to say that if you focus on the things that you don't have, or on the things that other people have, you will never, ever have enough. Oprah encourages us to take a few moments each day and write down the things that we have, the things that we're thankful for. Write it down, hang it up so that you can see it on a regular basis. Because if you do that, it can. And it will change your lives. Change your lives for the better. You see, the more, Oprah, in fact, she said, you can restart your life today, if you choose, just by being thankful. You see, the more you appreciate the things that you are, the things that you have, the more that life will give back to you. Now, as far as myself, I encourage people to lay there in bed just a moment longer. And before you get out of bed, just lay there and think to yourself, what am I thankful for in life? What am I thankful for today? Well, as far as myself, I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to be alive here in the United States with each and every one of you. So thank you for allowing Jean and I to come and spend the next hour with you so that we can celebrate life together and, if you choose, have a lot of fun in the process. So now, let's go ahead and get along with these three predictions. Carol, is it?
Yes.
Carol. I met some of you I don't. It didn't answer. Some of your names I know. Carol, would you do me a favor? Inside of this envelope, I have 4 kings. King of diamonds, king of spades, king of clubs, king of whichever one I didn't mention. I want you just to think of one of those 4 kings, okay? Got it? Good. Now over here, let's, David and, okay? Ketterer, okay. Would you do me a favor and work together? I want one of you to think of a blue envelope, and one of you to think of a red envelope. And the way to do that, Dave, just think of red or blue. Don't tell me. Got one? Now you have to tell her what color you're thinking, so you can pick the envelope of the opposite color. Okay? Good. Inside of each envelope are 4 kings. King of hearts, king of diamonds, king of spades, king of clubs. King of hearts, king of diamonds, king of spades, king of clubs. Dave, just think of one. Got one? Now I want you to think of the king of the opposite color. So if he's thinking of a black king, I want you to think of a red king, or vice versa. And the only way she can do that is if you tell her the color your king is. Okay? Oh, by the way, Carol, I never asked you if your favorite color was red or blue. What is your favorite color? Red or blue? Blue, okay. Now, you've got 2 kings, 1 king here. Watch what I do. I'm going to take your king out just like this and turn it over and slide it back in. I'm going to take your 2 kings out just like this, turn them over, but watch what I do, Dave. I'm going to take and put your king into her envelope, her king into your envelope, upside down. Wow, for the first time. Carol, what king were you thinking of?
Diamond.
King of diamonds. Get your clappers ready, just in case. One king going the opposite way is the king of diamonds. Woo! Okay. What envelope, Dave, what envelope were you thinking?
Blue.
Blue. And what king were you thinking of?
King of Hearts.
King of Hearts. Got your clappers ready, just in case? One king going the opposite way. King of Hearts. And you must have been thinking of the other envelope. You must have been thinking of a black king. Was it clubs or spades?
Spades.
Spades. Let's see if it's going to be 3 for 3. Got your clappers ready? One king going the oh, it is! King of spades! Woo! 3 for 3. Wait a minute though. Dave, didn't I say I put yours into her envelope and yours into his envelope? If that's true, then this would be red, which it is. Wow. And this would be blue, which it is. Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love to say thank you because there is power in gratitude. There really is. In fact, gratitude has been scientifically proven. It has. Let's talk about a few recent studies. I try to say thank you as many times as I can because there's power in there. One recent study showed that people who practiced gratitude, they had higher levels of alertness, higher levels of optimism, enthusiasm, determination, higher levels of energy. Another study showed that people who were thankful on a regular basis, they had lower levels of stress. And isn't that good for the ticker? They had less signs of depression. They were more likely to help other people. They were more likely to exercise. And they were more likely to make more progress in their own personal goals. Wow, just by being thankful. And yet another study showed that people who felt thankful on a regular basis often felt more loved. Wow, just by being thankful. Now, gratitude can become a positive habit in our life, but we have to make an effort at it every day. But if we do make an effort at it every day, and if it does become a positive habit in our life, it will, believe it or not, create more abundance in our life. It will. It will create more prosperity in our life. It will. It will give us a better sense of well-being. And believe it or not, it will create more happiness than some of us ever dreamt possible. You know what I'm happy about? You know what I'm thankful for? I'm thankful that you picked those very kings that you did. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, because I kind of went out on a limb today. Carol, you picked the king of diamonds. We found it. And you said your favorite color was blue. Isn't it amazing? We found your king using blue cards. But look closely because not only is that, but how difficult, how amazing was it that your card is the only one that has a red back. Now your two kings, I really went out on a limb for. You see, you picked these two kings. Had you picked any other kings, I would have been in real trouble because I kind of lied to you. I told you that there were 4 kings in each stack. Well, the truth of the matter is I left myself no way out. Had you picked any other king, I would have been in real trouble. All the other cards were not kings at all, but just 2s. Thank you. Were you sending me your good thoughts? Or was I sending you mine? No, I think you were sending me your good thoughts. And sending good thoughts is not always easy to do, especially if you're in pain. especially if it's emotional pain, especially if it's deep emotional pain. I know I've been there for the last 4 years, and I know that each and every one of you, you've experienced deep emotional pain at some point or another in your life. It's just part of life. For the last 40 years, I found myself waking up in the middle of the night thinking about those emotional pains. Playing and replaying and replaying and playing and playing and replaying them over and over and over again. So eventually I would go into the other room and turn the TV on and get distracted. I'd watch old reruns of Perry Mason. Did you ever watch Perry Mason? Yeah. How about Bonanza? Yeah. Wagon Train? Outer Limits? Not so much. Okay. I even watched Andy Griffith. Now, those old reruns did help get me distracted, but they sure weren't doing much for my sleep. And they sure weren't doing much to help actually solve those emotional pains. So what I did do was turn a station and started watching something that did help. I started watching 2 different women. One, you may have guessed, Oprah Winfrey, who encourages us to be thankful for the things that we have. And the other is a woman by the name of Louise Hay, H-A-Y. Now some people think she looks like Dinah Shore, but her name is Louise Hay, H-A-Y. She encourages us to use mind over matter, to keep our mind on good, positive things, and take our mind off of those negative things that really don't matter. So, for the remaining time that I'm here, you will hear me focus and encourage you to respect one another. Be kind to one another. To say kind and encouraging words to one another. To be thankful for the things that we still have left in life. And to keep our minds on the good thoughts, the exciting thoughts, the fun thoughts. You guys ready to have some more fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's have some more fun. I've got a puzzle. It's a puzzle that you can share with your friends who are not here. Inside of my hand I have 2 coins. 2 U.S. American coins. When I add them together, it comes up to 30 cents. Well, one of them's not a quarter. Oh, now that's a puzzle. 2 U.S. coins, add them up, they come up to 30 cents, and one of them's not a quarter. Well, here's the answer. One of them is a nickel, and one of them is a quarter. She's over here thinking I can read her mind. She said, "Wait a minute, Paul. Wait a minute, Mr. Ketterer. You just told us one of them was not a quarter." Well, that's absolutely true. One of them is not a quarter. You see that nickel? It took a while. Well, you see that nickel? That's the one. That's not a quarter. Oh, yeah, I know. As John Matarese would say, that kind of stinks. Well, let me tell you what else stinks. It's the interest rate that we've been getting on our savings account for the last 7, 8, 9 years. I got my statement the other day, and it read 0.0000001%. I got 25 cents in interest. Now, doesn't that stink? You know what I don't understand? When people rob banks, they go to jail, rightfully so. And yet when banks rob people, they get bonuses and promotions. Yeah, now normally at this time, I do a demonstration in telekinesis. The act of moving an object, such as this quarter, with just a thought. But I can tell with an audience of this size, this quarter may be very difficult to see. So with your permission, we'll use something different. We'll use this box. We'll put the quarter in the box. Oh, there's a couple in there from the last time. Can everybody see this box? A few in the back, not too short. Well, I always bring something bigger just for this occasion, just in case. So with your permission, instead of using this box, we'll use something even bigger. But if I use something this big, I need the help of each and every one of you. And specifically, I need the help of Melody. Melody, would you come right here? Let's give Melody a little encouragement. Thank you, Melody. I want you to come right here. you see these two tassels? I'm going to have you hold them in a few moments. But first, I need to work with the audience for just a moment. What I need the rest of you to do is to clear your minds of any negative thoughts. Because negative thoughts stand in your way. Negative thoughts never do you any good. Negative thoughts keep you from going where you want to go, keep you from achieving what you want to achieve. So what I want you to do is clear your mind of any negative thoughts that you might have. And the best way to clear negative thoughts out of your mind is to fill your mind with beautiful thoughts. So reach inside of your 401k memory banks and hold on to your best beautiful memory. And hopefully your memory banks are overflowing with beautiful memories. And while they're doing that, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to hold these two tassels. Because I'm going to hold those two too, Eva. And I'll tell you what, the reason is because we're going to see if we can't get the table to move, maybe even shake, maybe even raise up and float. And I'm going to let go of it, and you're going to be the one holding it, and I don't want it to hit the ceiling. It's pretty high. Okay? So when I tell you to, okay, you can just hang loose for a minute, and I'm going to see if I can't focus on the table. And you focus on your beautiful thoughts. You can wave your hand over it.
I was doing that already.
You were doing that already? You can look underneath if you want. I can grab the tassels. Them gentle, just like that. I'm going to let go now. I'm going to hold on to the box. And look in the box while you hold on to the table. Quarters are still in there. Think you can bring it in for a landing? See if you can bring it in for a landing. Very good. Let's give Melody a big hand here. Thank you, Melody. Some people say telekinesis. Others say sleight of hand. And others say, that was just an illusion. Well, I like to compare it to what I call tell-a-friend. You see, telekinesis is the act of moving an object, such as this table, with just a thought. But tell-a-friend is the act of moving a thought from inside of our head to inside of the head of a friend by telling them kind and encouraging words. You see, when you tell somebody kind and encouraging words, you're actually sending out blessings of joy and happiness. And it doesn't cost you a dime. Doesn't even cost you a penny. And you know, whatever you send out comes back. So if you're sending out blessings of joy and happiness, guess what comes back? Yeah, blessings of joy and happiness. And sometimes even tenfold. And isn't that a heck of a return? Sure beats what the banks are giving us. Yeah. Well, here's one last tip about money. You know the best way to make somebody remember you is to borrow money from them. They will never forget you if you have their money. You know the best way to save money is to forget who you borrowed it from. No, I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing you. But here's something I'm very serious about. And that is, God may have given us our faces. He has. But each and every one of us, we choose the expression we put on our face. Every day, every hour, every moment, every second, we choose the expression we put on our face. So put that smile on. Put that best expression you own on, because we're going to see one striking illusion. And I do mean striking. You see, when you send out those blessings of joy and happiness, every once in a while, they meet a wall of resistance. Maybe it's a person having a bad time. Maybe it's a person having a bad day. Maybe Maybe it's a person who is just plain cantankerous. Maybe. But I believe that if you keep sending out those blessings of joy and happiness, sooner or later you will get through. Just like this Sharpie, through this piece of paper here. Oh no, that's not the magic. Anybody can take a Sharpie and poke it through a piece of paper. Anybody can do that. Anybody can say kind and encouraging words. Anybody can think good thoughts. Anybody can do that. No, the magic comes in the power of those kind and encouraging words. Do you ever notice that all it takes sometimes is a simple smile, the simple kind and encouraging word to help lift somebody up, help heal them, help restore them? A simple kind act can do so much good to somebody else, and it's a simple little thing. It can restore them back to their original condition, back to the way God made them, back to the way God wants them to be. A simple, kind word can restore them, just like, hup, this paper, now fully restored. Thank you. Please thank you for that. Let everybody see it. So be kind to one another. Help heal one another with your kind and encouraging words of understanding. And please understand this, that everyone in here is probably doing the very best that they can with what they have. They are. Everyone in here is a blessing. They are. Everyone in the state, everyone in the country, even the crazy, obnoxious politicians, whether they're on the left or whether they're on the right, they're a blessing as well. You see, some bless the room when they come in, and you got some bless the room when they go out. So remember this. Remember this. Remember this. Keep a smile on your face, kindness in your heart, and good thoughts on your mind, so that you can always be a blessing when you come into the room. And isn't that worth remembering? Yeah. Speaking of remembering, that reminds me of my favorite story. There was an elderly couple. They were getting up in years, and they were getting a little forgetful. So they went to the doctor, and the doctor ran a whole battery of tests. And finally he comes out and sits down with them. He says, look, he says, all the tests came out fine. He says, but you are getting a little bit older. And with age, sometimes forgetfulness comes along with that. So he says, the best thing you can do is just go home and write down the important things. So they were happy. That evening they were sitting, the husband and wife were sitting there side by side, watching their favorite TV program. And eventually the husband looks over and looks at the wife and says, you know, I've been thinking about that vanilla ice cream in the freezer for the last 15 minutes. I think I'm going to go out and get some. Would you like some? And she says, I've been thinking of the chocolate ice cream for the last 15 minutes. I would love to have some chocolate ice cream. He starts to go out. She says, well, aren't you going to write it down? And she said, the doctor said, just write down the important things. She said, that chocolate ice cream is important to me. Well, you know, he's a husband. He goes out, just kind of brushes her off. A couple minutes later, she hears the pots and pans. And about 15 minutes later, here he comes, carrying a tray. And instead of ice cream, he's got bacon and eggs. And she took one look, rolled her eyes, shook her head, and said, I knew it. I knew you should have wrote it down. I knew you were going to forget. You forgot the toast. And nowadays, as I'm getting older, I do more and more what the doctor prescribed. I try to write things down. And what better time than to write down another prediction. In fact, what I've got here is, you can see all of these different cards here. They're all different. I've got about 10 cards here. And this gentleman here who's my cheerleader, what is it? Craig. Okay, Craig, what I want you to do, I'm going to show you these, and I just want you to think of anyone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one. Just think of one. Have you got one? Okay. I'm going to try. Now, don't change it. Just think of it.
You see this?
Okay. Kathy, would you do me the honor of just holding this prediction? Craig, what card are you thinking of?
5 of diamonds.
5 of diamonds. There is a 5 of diamonds in here.
Now I want Craig to read the prediction, okay? Would you do me the favor and just hold on to the 5, hold it up high, and I want you just to read what I wrote down.
Verbatim.
Verbatim, in a nice loud clear voice.
5 of diamonds.
5 of diamonds! Woo! Life is too short to be dealing with negative thoughts. Life is a precious gift, and we're moving right through it very quickly. And life is a precious gift. You know, life is too short to be dealing with negative thoughts like lies, secrets, gossip, and even nowadays fake news. You know, those type of negative thoughts destroy relationships, especially family relationships. I've seen it time and time again, and I'm confident you've seen some of that as well. They destroy family relationships. In fact, that reminds me of my favorite story. It's a Native American story. It's a story about a grand old Indian chief. He was Cherokee. And one evening, it was him, the chief, and his grandson, just sitting around a campfire. He looks down at the boy and he says, "Son, inside of every one of us, there's a battle going on." Now when he said every one of us, he meant everyone in this room. No exceptions. No exceptions. He meant everyone that ever was. No exceptions. No exceptions. He meant everyone that ever will be. No exceptions. He looked down at the boy and he said, "Son, inside of every one of us, there's a battle going on between two wolves." Now, one wolf lives by negative emotions. Negative emotions like sorrow, regret, self-pity, loneliness. Negative feelings like the loss of usefulness, the loss of respect, the loss of dignity, the loss of connectivity. Connectivity between us and other people, between us and friends, between us and relatives, or even loved ones. Now the other wolf lives by positive emotions. Positive emotions like sympathy, generosity, compassion, dignity, respect, faith, hope. But most importantly, love and gratitude. The little boy sits there and thinks for a little bit, and finally he looks up at this big Indian chief and he says, "Grandpa, which wolf wins?" And the wise old chief looked down at the boy and he says, "Whichever one you feed." Whichever one you feed. Whichever one you feed. So my friends, don't feed the wrong wolf. Not for an hour, not for a minute, not even for a second. Because every second, every minute, every hour you feed the wrong wolf, you are robbing yourself. You are robbing yourself of the joy and the happiness that you so richly want and deserve. So if you want to be happy, keep feeding the right wolf. Speaking about happy, that reminds me of my favorite story. You might have read it. It was in a paper not long ago. It was a couple. They were celebrating 58 years of a happy marriage. And the newspaper reporter went to interview them. And he started with the husband. He says, "What's your secret to 58 years of a happy marriage?" And the husband said, "That's easy. On our 25th wedding anniversary, we both got on a plane. We both flew to China. And we lived it up. We had a great time. We sang, we danced, we enjoyed the culture over there." And then he paused. There was silence. And finally, the newspaper reporter said, "Well, is that all there is?" And husband said, "Oh, no, no, no. On our 50th wedding anniversary, I got on a plane, I flew to China, and brought her back home." China. That reminds me of David Copperfield. You know, the magician that was too busy to come today, David Copperfield. Well, some of you may remember David Copperfield doing a TV special. Maybe it was 10 or 15 years ago. If it seems like 10, it must be 20. But anyway, he did a TV special where he flew to China and created this wonderful illusion of walking through the Great Wall of China. Thought to myself, wouldn't that be cool to do here today? But then reality set in, you know? The wall's over there, we're here, not the easiest thing to do. Then I thought, well, maybe I'll come and I'll build a wall right down the middle. Some of you will be here, some of you can hear, you can see it. And I thought, well, we only got 20 minutes to set up, so that wasn't such a great idea. Maybe there's a better way. And what I thought I would do is recreate that illusion using a couple different props. A couple cards. In fact, 3 cards. 2 of them are blue, 1 of them is red. All 3 of them are jokers. Now what we'll do is we'll let these 2 cards represent the Great Wall of China, the front side and the back side. And we'll let this card represent David Copperfield. Now watch, you see, if we put David right here at the back, now this is going to happen so fast, you've got to watch very closely, because if you blink, you may miss it. Can everybody see that David's on the back side of the Great Wall of China?
That's what she said.
Well, there it is. You can just use your eyes. Just watch. Watch very closely. Oh, did you see it? Did you see it? Wow. He's now in the middle. So fast, and yet so slow. So slow, and yet so fast. Wait a minute, I can tell. We'll do that again. Now we'll put David right back here in the middle. Can everybody see David in the middle? No doubt he's in the middle. Okay, now watch. We'll find out if he jumps to the front or jumps to the back. But again, it will be fast. I will go watch. Huh! Did you see that? He's now on the back of the Great Wall of China. So fast, and yet so slow. So slow, and yet so fast. Isn't that the way the aging process is? Isn't that the way time is? The days go by so slow, and the years go by so fast. Where have they all gone? A couple years ago, over in Fort Thomas, Kentucky, at Highland Springs, there was a woman there by the name of Alice. She was a wonderful mother. She was a mother of 5. Grandmother of 10, great-grandmother of 10, I think, something like that. Now, Alice was 87 at the time. I was 61. And she thought I was young. But my kids, on the other hand, they think I'm old and have 1 foot in the grave. But in all fairness to my kids and dog years, I would have been dead 30 years ago. All in all, it's not too bad when I roll out of bed in the morning. It's getting up off the floor that's tough. Let me tell you what else is tough. Sometimes it's tough to believe that our mind does not always tell us the truth. Oh, we think it does. We're convinced it does, but it doesn't. Sometimes it tricks us. Sometimes it flat out lies to us, especially when we have negative thoughts on our mind. Negative thoughts like resentment, jealousy, greed, revenge, and even hatred. Nowadays, I'm sorry to say, there seems to be a lot of hatred. And those type of emotions will put us into a spiraling nosedive to emotional disaster. And it's when we're in that nosedive, we've got to be very careful. Because when we're in that nosedive, our mind will trick us to see an illusion as reality. Trick us to see reality as an illusion. And when we're in that nosedive, we won't have a clue as to what's real and what's not. So the quicker we get those negative thoughts off of our mind, the quicker we can put our lives back into balance so that we can enjoy the good life that we were meant to have. In fact, what better time now than to use the positive power of our mind to do something unbelievable, something fantastic, something incredible, something that will defy all odds, something that the people in Las Vegas cannot even begin to explain how it's done. Saul and Kathy, would you come right up here? Give them a big hand, a little encouragement. What I want you to do is stand right here, side by side. You can stand right here, Saul, and you can stand right next to her. Okay. I need a few things, and here they are. First of all, put this right here, and put this right here. Okay, here's a red, here's a black. Now, what I want you to do is take this, Kathy, and I want you to just put it somewhere where you think is in the middle. I want half of you to have 2 stacks. Somewhere right in the middle, that's good. Good. Now, what I want you to do is I'll work with you first. Here, that's where you put it. Let's put this right here for a second. Kathy, we'll start with you. All I want you to do is tell me if it's red or black.
Red.
Okay, we'll put it right here. That was easy. You got to see it. Now tell me if it's red or black.
Red.
Good. She's very definite. She knows. She knows what. Now keep going as fast as you can.
Black.
Okay.
Red.
Keep going.
Black. Red.
Keep me honest.
Red. Black. 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 Red. Black. Red. Red. Black. Red. Black. Red. 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 Black. Red.
Boy, she knows. She knows. You know these answers. So you got a tough one to follow here. I want you to change places. You just change places because now, Saul, you're going to do the same thing. I've switched stacks so we can tell where one started and where one left off. Okay, that's right where she divided it. I want you just to take up right where she left. Red or black?
Black. Black. Blue. No, red.
Okay.
Red. Black. 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 Red. Red. Black. Red.
Oh, that was, you said
Black. Red. Red. Black. 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 Red.
okay.
Red. Black. Black. Red. Red. Black. 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 Red.
Okay. Phew! Boy, these guys are good! There is no hesitation! I know! Well, let's find out how well they did. I told you the people in Las Vegas can't figure this out. Let's see if we can. Let's just see how well you did. I'm just going to open up and look. It looks like they got all the reds right. Woo! It looks like they got all of the blacks right. 50%, every one of it. Very good. Every one. You guys, they did not hesitate. They knew. Well, let's find out on the other stack. Let's see how well they did. Step over here. Let's look at the blacks. It looks like you got all of the blacks correct. Okay, 100% so far. Woo! Let's look through there. Wait a minute. One card, 49 out of 50 correct. That's still outstanding. 49 out of 50. Woo! Wow, can you believe that? Greg, how did you do that?
Positive thinking.
Positive thinking! Boy! What, did I pick the right guys or not? Well, in front of you the whole time, I made a prediction. I wasn't sure how many you would actually get right. But I made a prediction. Would you slide that off and a nice loud voice, read it, and see how many I thought you might be able to get right? They got 49 correct. How many did I say? Turn it over, read it, and what does it say?
49.
49! Woo! And I thought to myself, gosh, if they got one card wrong, I wonder what it would be. They got the 3 of clubs wrong. The one that I thought they were going to get wrong is the 3 of clubs. Woo! Thank you, guys. Now that 3 of clubs, well, that reminds me of my favorite story. It's a story about 3 elderly sisters. One was 90, one was 92, and one was 94. Well, the 94-year-old sister goes up the steps into the bedroom, into the bathroom. She takes one step into the shower, gets a little bit confused, so she goes down to the 92-year-old sister. She says, I need a little help. I can't remember if I'm getting into the shower or getting out. Well, the 92-year-old sister says, here I come, I'll come up to help you. She goes up the steps. She gets halfway up the steps, stops, gets a little bit confused, and she calls down to the 90-year-old sister, and she says, I need some help. I can't remember if I'm going up the steps or down the steps. And the 90-year-old sister says to herself, I am so glad that I'm not old like my sisters. I'm so glad that I'm not senile like my sisters. Knock on wood. So she calls to the sister on the step. She says, I'll be there to help you as soon as I find out who's at the door. And what better time than now to find out who's been knocking at your door? Is it the wolf of positive emotions, or is it the wolf of negative emotions? Well, the truth of the matter is, they're both always knocking. The real question is, which one are you going to let in? And what better time than right now to let in the positive wolf and do 3 more very, very difficult predictions. In fact, all the way in the back, is it Larry?
Yes.
He thought he was safe back there. Larry, what I want you to do is think back to your childhood. Now he sits up. Well, he's relaxed. He was enjoying life until I caught him sleeping. But no, he was not sleeping. He was enjoying himself. Larry, what I want you to do is think back to your childhood. And I want you to think back to your favorite toy. Okay? Now, don't tell me what it is. I'm going to make a prediction. Actually, I'm going to make several predictions right here. You are thinking of a toy, right? I want you to think of the color of that toy. Nobody knows what you're thinking but yourself, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Deny.
Ta-da! I had it close. Ta-da! Do me a favor, keep your eye on this. Here's my prediction right here. She's keeping an eye on my prediction. What toy were you thinking of?
A car you could pedal.
A car that you could, and what color was that?
Blue.
Blue car. I told you they were difficult. Would you be happy if I got 2 of the 3 predictions right? Wow, that was tough. Dick, in the yellow shirt. Let's think of a state. I want you to think of a state that maybe you've never been to and one of the 50 states. See, we're going to make this a little bit easier, a little bit more finite. Think of a state that your favorite state, one that you may have never gone to. Are you thinking of a state?
Why wouldn't I have gone to my favorite state?
One that you haven't gone to that you're still. Anyway, think of any one of the 50. I'm just trying to help you choose, but you pick any state that you like.
Okay.
Okay, don't change it. Keep your eye on these. Boy, she says she hasn't taken her eye off of them. Okay. What state are you thinking of?
Washington.
I don't even have your credit. This is embarrassing. Would you be happy if I got 1 of the 3 predictions right? In fact, I'm going to make that right now. I'm going to predict a famous person. A very famous person. The last time I did this, I asked somebody to think of a famous person. And they thought of somebody that nobody in the whole audience knew of. So that wasn't too famous. So I went out on the internet and searched for famous people. And some of the names that came up were like Taylor Swift, Elvis Presley, Dick Clark, Paul McCartney, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Bill Gates, Jennifer Lopez, Tom Hanks, Oprah Winfrey, Tom Cruise, Robin Williams, Beyonce, Bob Dylan, Britney Spears, Angelina Jolie, Woody Allen, etc., etc., etc. A bunch of different names. These are names you recognize, right? These are names, okay. Now, to keep this easy, I'll tell you what. What was your name, hon?
Kathy.
Kathy, would you do me a favor? I want you just to pick one. Not your favorite one, but just go ahead and pull back anywhere you want. Just reach inside, pull back, and I want you to look over her shoulder so both of you can see. Just pull back anywhere you want. Okay? Have you got one? You both see it? Okay. Let's see how well. No, don't forget them. Let's see how well we did. Can I pick these up and show everybody? Okay. Who was the first one? Larry? What did you say? A blue what? Little car of some sort?
Yeah.
I wrote down blue car. Woo! Deb, you thought of Washington. Well, actually, I got close. We'll see how close we can get, okay? You thought of Washington. This is very close. Washington's out on the west side, right? So is this. I wrote down Washington. Woo! And last but not least, what name did you select? Bill Gates? I wrote down Bill Gates! Woo! 3 for 3. Good thoughts. Notice I said good thoughts, because when you have good thoughts, you tend to be happy. And when you're happy, you feel better. You sleep better. Life in general, it's better. In fact, remember Alice from Highland Springs? She said the trick to life is to live a long, happy life without getting older. The trick is, the problem is, as I get older, sometimes I feel more and more invisible. Do you ever feel that way? I went to Kroger's the other day. I felt like I'm standing there, nobody saw me, I thought I was going to get run over by a bass cart. As I get older, sometimes I feel less and less relevant. Technology's passing me by. You know, I have to call my kids just to do even the basic things on the phone and the iPad and this. And technology's passing me by. In fact, I turn the TV on. It's like, who are these people? All the movie stars that I knew, but they're gone. I don't even see them. I turn the radio on for music, and it's like, what's this? Sometimes I feel like I don't even have a voice with my own daughters. But when I feel this way, I know the best place to be is in church, so that I can thank God for the things that I still do have left in my life. I was in church the other day, and Pastor Ben came out. And he said, we're working on our financial obligation, and we're only $350 short. So if anybody pledges $350, I'll let them pick out the next 3 hymns in today's service. With that, a small, little, frail hand goes up. She had silver, maybe it was white hair. I don't remember her name, but I'm going to say it was Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith says, oh, Pastor Ben, I'll do that. And Pastor Ben says, oh, that's great. And Mrs. Smith, what 3 hymns would you like? So she stood up, looked over the congregations and smiled real big, and she says, I'll pick him! I'll pick him! And all right, I will pick him! For this next and final allusion, if you would, I don't need 3 hymns, but I do need 3 pieces of rope. A short one, a medium one, a short one, a medium one, and a very long one. Short, medium, long. Now what I'll do is I'll bring up the ends just like this, so that all of the ends are the same length. And then with the help of a little bit of magic sizing, how's that for sound effects? I love that. Little spray here, watch what happens. I pull them apart. We have 1, we have 2, and we have 3 ropes all the same size. Wow. Thank you. A little sizing. Watch what happens. A short one. A medium-sized one. And a very long one. Thank you. Now let's do that again. We'll bring up the ends of the rope just like that, so all of the ends again are the same length. And a little. All right! Help me out here. You got that down. Go ahead. Do it. All right. Is she good or is she good? Let's see how good you are. Okay. And yes, we'll pull them up. Great job. 1, 2, and 3 ropes all the same size, but we'll set one aside. We'll take these 2 ropes and tie them together in the middle, just like this, to form a knot. Now, the only way you can get rid of a knot in the middle of 2 ropes tied together is by magic. The magic of mind over matter. And what's on your mind? It does matter. Well, matters to you, doesn't it? Of course it does. And it matters to the people around you, because they want you to be a blessing when you come into the room. And it matters to your God. It doesn't matter how old you are, you still have a purpose. You still have a plan. The mere fact that you're sitting in this room tells me that your God still has a plan for you. Maybe it's as simple as to help one another, to be kind to one another, to respect one another, to make inroads with one another. Maybe it's as simple as putting a smile on somebody else's face today. Say a kind and encouraging word and lift them up, and to put a smile on somebody else's face today. Maybe. Or better yet, maybe it's to put that best expression you want on your face today, to put that smile on your face today, to give somebody else the joy and the pleasure of putting a smile on our face today. Maybe. So in conclusion, as we do grow older, it's not unusual to lose more and more of those precious things in life that at one time used to bring us some form of happiness. You know, those things that we probably took for granted when we were a bit younger. But we still have so much to be thankful for. We don't have to look too far to see people with bigger and more difficult challenges than we have. Yes, growing older can be difficult. But the truth of the matter is, life at any age can be difficult. But I'm here to tell you it's not too late. It's never too late to be happy. But you have to think happy thoughts, good thoughts, exciting thoughts, fun thoughts. You cannot let your mind control you with thinking negative thoughts. Yes, mind over matter. Keep your mind where it belongs. Keep your mind on the right stuff. Keep your mind on the good stuff. Fill your mind with beautiful, beautiful memories, because you deserve to be happy. Everyone here does. I'm confident that each and every one of us, we were meant to be happy. After all, aren't we all children of God? And what good parent doesn't want their children to be happy? I know it's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's very hard. But it's up to you. And it's up to me. I can't do it for you, and you can't do it for me. Only you can keep your mind on the good, positive things in life. Only you can remain grateful for the things that you still have left in life, even if sometimes everything else around you may seem lost. Mind over matter, illusion or reality. As you decide, I'll share one final thought with you. And that, my friends, is this. The real magic in life, the real magic in life, the real magic in life is love. It's love is love. And when you share that love with one another, along with kindness and respect, especially kindness and respect, then you have become the greatest magician, second to none. So remember, wherever life takes you, whether it's just down Victory Parkway or around the world, may love, kindness, respect, and the amazing magical power of gratitude always be in your hearts. Thank you, God bless, and lots of love to all of you. Thank you for coming. I want all of you for taking